morning. Does everyone hear me? Okay. My name is Ingrid, and this is Jenny, my friend and the business partner. And we run a small craft and design studio, and we've been doing it for 2.5 years now. And we're called Paraply, which is not only a great tool for preventing rain on your shoes, but also a nice term for collecting a lot of stuff under the same roof, which is what we do a lot. So to show you an example, here's some clips we put together from what we've been up to these last months in 2018 so far. You can see we like to use a lot of different materials and techniques in our work. And I am educated as a graphic designer and Ingrid as an art director. But you can say that our curiosity has kind of led us into a more tactile way of working. So today's theme is curiosity, and the question mark kind of sums it up because it's all about asking questions. It's about exploring, investigating, and then learning from what you explore. When I was a student at Vesterdals, we had a project where we were to make a mascot, a personal mascot for ourselves. And my mascot didn't really turn out that well, but my classmate Natasha, she made these mascots, and they are called the bullies. And this is who, where, how, why, and what. And they are constantly bothering you with questions. And they were meant to help Natasha push her projects forward and not to settle for the first idea, but to always dig deeper into the subject. And we think that this is a really important reminder for everyone. Because without curiosity, there would be no moving forward or no evolution. But we don't necessarily have to invent the wheel over and over again. There is always an opportunity to make even the simplest things better. Like Sweden's Jan Boklöf did when he started jumping with his skis spread and invented the V-slide. So, being curious and asking questions is the key for creating new ideas. And being curious is sometimes throwing out wild ideas that will never ever happen, or in some cases it does happen. But asking the silly questions and looking for things the other way around very often make us come up with original and unexpected ideas. And we think that what if is a very good way to start a curious question. It's a very open way to start a question, and you're kind of just throwing it out there. What if? And we have found some examples of different work or projects that we like and that we think started with a what if question that triggered the idea. So we'll show you some examples of these projects. Like what if we don't follow the rules? Like this American artist did when he found out that some puzzle companies, they use the same die-cut pattern for their puzzles. So instead of following the recipe and doing as the box said,
he combined two different puzzles and made a different model. And it could turn up much more interesting than just following the recipe.
Or what if we play with mashups? And this is what Carl Mattsson from Sweden did. He started mashing up different portraits of famous people and their names. And he's made a lot of portraits, and this is one of them. Marilyn Monroe and Atkinson, and Elvis, and Taylor Swift is that.
Or what if we give a familiar object a whole new purpose, like cutting off the top of a chair and making it into a hanger? Or maybe turn it the other way around and make a chair with a hanger?
Or what if we use a negative as a positive? And this is what an advertising agency in Amsterdam did called Kesselskammer. They worked for Hans Brinker Budget Hotel, and they had a problem because they got a lot of complaints on their hotel from customers. And Kesselskammer went to the hotel, and they couldn't find anything positive about the hotel. Everything was just crap. So they decided to use their weakness as their unique selling point. So what they did was they started advertising how bad the hotel was. And this actually turned out really well. They had so many customers that they had to open up a new hotel. And now the only complaints they get is from customers that complain that the hotel is not as bad as they had hoped.
Or what if we turn one man's misfortune into our fortune, like we did for Norwegian Airlines when Brad was finally single, and now Jennifer is single? Or what if you combine your two passions? You might end up making history. But in all cases, there is of course a percentage of risk-taking. And it might not always end up a success. Like Elon Musk said, this is a 50-50%. This could work out. So you have to dare to fail. Because if you're not failing every now and again, it's a sign you're not doing anything very innovative. And remember that robots, even they make mistakes. I'll give you some time to shrink this out.
Okay, so when we are kids, most of us are both risk-taking and curious. But for some reason, when we grow older, we seem to get less curious. And this probably has something to do about when we are kids, everything is new and unexplored. But then we grow older and we fall into routines and we get a little bit too comfortable with our lives. But whenever we as grown-ups start to do something new, say we start a new job or move to a new house or travel to a foreign country, we tend to be at our most curious. We taste new food, or we start to learn a new language or some words from a new language, or we start to chit-chat with other people from our hotel. And this is something that most of us would probably not do in our own hometown, where most of us don't know the name of our next door neighbor. So we think that the clue to keep being curious as adults is to throw yourself into new or unknown stuff. It could be to change your routine, work with a new client, take a risk, move your desk to the other side of the table, learn a new technique or a new software, and so on. So constantly changing up your routine really makes your brain active and alert. And this is something that me and Ingrid in our work. A lot of the time we do stuff that we have never ever done before. And this doesn't sound very comforting in case we have any new clients sitting here today. But most of the times we do have our projects under control. So, because we do a lot of things for the first time, we use Google a lot. And these are some of our Google searches. but you can't see them because it's too pixelated. But we'll show you some projects afterwards. So we Google a lot of stuff and we get a lot of answers, but we experience again and again that you have to actually do it to learn.
So one of our very first projects is actually a good example of this. The brief was to make unique gingerbread cutters designed by children, and the project was commissioned by Anorak for Matprat. And after searching through different solutions on how to make the cutters, we ended up 3D printing them. This was not at all what we thought our first project would be like. After all, we started up as a graphic design firm, and of course it was a bit scary, but we loved the project and knew that if we threw ourselves into it and added a bit more time, we could figure it out and end up learning a new tool. So we did, and this is Papa or Dad. A Santa Claus, an Asbjørn, and a spider. And it turned out to be a really fun project with a steep learning curve. And Google said 3D printing takes about 20 minutes. This took like 2 hours.
Just this way.
Yeah. So, of course, depending on the shape and the complexity of the shape, that's how long a 3D print will take. And children, they tend to draw a lot of arms. So when you're making over 100 shapes, you can end up sitting there all night long in this Star Wars universe. Yeah.
So after this project, this was one of our first projects, we got the taste for learning more stuff, and we got the confidence that we could actually do it. And we saw that throwing ourselves into new things and learning new techniques really made for an exciting work day and work week. No week is exactly the same. So from each project we learn a lot of things about material, techniques, sometimes how to use a new machine, and we figure out approximately how much time a project will take. And although no project is exactly the same, we can use the knowledge that we get from one project to another. And we love that we now can get a call from a client that asks us to make a piñata, even though they know that we're not a piñata company. So they figure if we can do that, then we can probably do this as well. And so this is how the piñata turned out. And in this project, we didn't have time. It was a very short deadline, so we didn't have time to make the paper base that you're supposed to make for the piñata, so we had to cheat and buy an IKEA lampshade to build it around. And this is a project that we did with Morgenbladet and Lusoku. And Lusoku, they still have it in their office as a decoration actually. And we think that's because we didn't put any candy in it. So it's a whole piece. And the other thing about making physical things is that you don't have a control set button. So if you screw up, you have to start all over again. But this is also what makes it more interesting. You don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. And of course, a little bit nerve-wracking.
Here's another project we did for Red Bull, and here we actually did the whole the whole concept from idea to the finished product. And this was an inspirational box for musicians that were to apply for Red Bull's Music Academy. And one of the things we put in the box was handmade USB sausages made out of Fimo clay. And here we had to do some testing. First of all, we had to find the right thickness of the USB, because once we covered in Fimo, first time it didn't fit in the USB input, because we wanted the laptop to be flat and it was too tall. So we had to find the right thickness of the USB, and also the thriller did the USB tolerate the heat in the oven, because the Fimo has to be cooked for like a few minutes at 100 degrees or something. But it worked.
Yes. And this is a project we did together with Handverk, and facette for Sola Airport, where the idea was to make Christmas decorations from trash from the airport. So the first thing we did was to start digging around to see what we could find. So we went into all the back rooms of the airport, which was really exciting. And from the stuff that we found, we made a lot of different things. But we made this snowman from the plastic bags that you use to keep strollers in and other special luggage. And on the other side, you can see Rudolph with his red nose that we made from old landing lights from the runway. And here we also made a lot of Christmas stars from cardboard from the duty free. And we worked really intensely for 3 days. And when we were done with the project, and we started to hang them up, we realized that it probably wasn't okay that we had Petterøes cigarette logos and a lot of alcohol logos all over the place. And we didn't really think of that because, I mean, you can't, it's not like logo, because it's like inside and everywhere. But we didn't really think this would be a problem before we started hanging them up. But
because we didn't have time to think.
But luckily in an airport there's a lot of stickers and tags, so we used those to cover up the most crucial parts so we could use them. And then this is the last project we're going to show you. This is for Miljøpartiet De Grønne, or the Green Party, for the last election. They had made 3 election promises for the voters that we decided to engrave into wood to emphasize the promise. And this is what they ended up looking like. We bought the wood from a guy from finn.no, and we engraved the wood with our design. And we luckily also got these pictures taken before this happened. So because the wood was still wet when we bought it, it started cracking up not soon after it got engraved. And we didn't think of this at all when we did it, but of course now we won't do it again. And also it happened right after the election, so they did their job. Now it's almost a little bit symbolic that they cracked up as well, because the Greens didn't really do that well in the election. And also FAP in the middle here is in parliament. Oh well.
We also like to be curious and explore after work hours, and from time to time we do arrange workshops in our studios, inviting other creatives to teach and people to come and learn, and it's a good and nice way for us to learn something new as well. And we've had a floral decoration course with the Plukk blomster, weaving courses and embroidery courses. And next up is a beginner's weaving class at Fornebu, March 7. So if you're curious and want to learn a new hobby, you should check out the event on our Facebook page. So to end this presentation, a cliche but a nice and curious quote by Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowline, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. Thank you so much, and have a curious weekend.